All right, can you all hear me well? If I talk like that? All right, I'm pretty loud, so it should work. On your way in, you passed all of these sword ferns. And about 10 to 12 years ago, Seward Park experienced a decline in these sword ferns. The most abundant plant in the Pacific Northwest was starting to die, going unnoticed. But where is Seward Park? Well, Seward Park is about 10 miles south of us from this very place. 600 sword ferns declined, shriveling up and dying. This was noticed by Seward Park, friends of Seward Park, and led to my research with the ferns. But why do sword ferns even matter? As my site supervisor used to joke, who cares about ferns? Well, beyond being the backbone of the PNW forest, maintaining moisture in the forest as well, and retaining soil to prevent erosion, they also are indicator species, meaning that they can show the impacts of forest decline faster than other species. This led to a lot of my research, and especially my first research question, which asked about the extent. My first research question was, what is the extent of the die-off of the Pacific Northwest sword fern? To actually find the die-off points, we used a public forum called iNaturalist to find where other people have placed dead or dying sword ferns. We then used that to plan out our routes and then plan where our sites would be. When we arrived at a park, we decided that the significant site would be 4 sword ferns within 20 feet of each other, therefore getting us in more larger groupings rather than just one-ups. This way we could focus our findings and focus what we see. While out in the field, we would actually find the 4 dead sword ferns, mark the bounds, count the alive and dead, and then classified our dead and dying sword ferns into 4 categories. Those 4 categories allowed us to see really where we are at with the die-off. Those 4 categories include class 1, with 1 to 2 years with light browning, class 2, which is 2 to 3 years with more browning and leaf loss, class 3, which is getting larger and just bronze at that point, class 4, which is 7 years and on, which just stumps. The website you see above me is what we actually used to include the 12 other variables that we standardized for each site that we went to. This helped us see and helped us upload all of our data into a main database that was on Excel sheet, which helped us create this map. The map you see above me is what we helped see the entire extent of the die-off. And the brown points are die-off sites, while the green points are actually something called zero sites, places where we didn't find anything at all. We used those 0 sites to then compare what we found and try to find some new hypotheses and other things. This then concluded my first research question. But out in the field, I started seeing some trends and some other variables, which led me to my second research question, which asked more about canopy cover. My second research question is, does canopy cover percentage and type impact the mortality rate of the sword ferns? The 2 types are conifers and deciduous, and a mix of the 2. I then created 2 graphs, and the first one is here. It is a scatter plot, and the blue dots represent each site. The x-axis is canopy cover percentage, while the y-axis is mortality rate. As you can see, it's pretty spread out. I'm not gonna lie. It's showing us nothing. And if you look at the trend line, I'm pretty much getting shut down. So my first hypothesis was kind of sunk under the water. But my second graph that I made showed the type, and it showed the same thing. The x-axis was then made into deciduous, mixed, and conifers. And again, I see little to no variation. But that doesn't mean the end all. It means that we can cross off hypotheses and cross off other theories, thus launching us forward. So I've traveled over 500 miles, and I made 2 graphs that showed us nothing. What is that? Well, it means we can go into further research, and we can go into further avenues to then show us what we can see. So we've actually sent our findings to a lab at UCLA. We've done soil testings to try to find more things. And when we haven't found any smoking guns yet, we can still positive because there's still more research to be done. My research was truly just the first step in a long line. Without sword ferns, the PNW forest is empty. It is the backbone, and we can truly see the death-defying images here. The dieback is large. We don't want to see any more dead zones, so further research is needed. But all hope isn't lost yet. We're getting published with the journal soon. We are getting more funding, and hopefully we can get more people on this research. So when you go back and exit the auditorium or go on a trail, start noticing the sword ferns, because they may not be there forever. I'd like to thank my friends and family for listening to this over and over again. My site supervisor, Paul Shannon, my faculty advisor, Tim Billow, and my personal chauffeur, Heidi. Thank you. Questions? Yeah?
What were some patterns or trends in the field you noticed that led to your second question?
So I have a bilateral ear infection. I can't hear anything. So what do you say?
You want to repeat the question?
Yeah, I can repeat it.
I can't hear very well either.
What were some patterns or trends in the field that you noticed that led to your second research question?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay.
I can hear it well.
Oh, right.
Focus, you know. So for those like me who can't hear very well, the question was what patterns and trends kind of led me to my second research question. Was that right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I started seeing a lot of trends and patterns with sunlight mainly, especially when sunlight would go onto a bunch of the ferns. I actually saw this one specific site where there was just a block of sunlight directly hitting all the dead ferns. But while I looked at the shaded ferns with canopy cover, I actually saw they were all alive. So really, in future studies, I hope to see more of sunlight coverage explained rather than just canopy cover, because canopy cover is solely what's above us, not what's around us. Any other questions? Dang it.
What was your favorite site that you visited?
My favorite, okay. I love that question. It's fun. So for those of you who can't hear, the question was, what was my favorite site that I visited? And while Eatonville comes in second, I would say there's a place called Larrabee National Park. It's a great drive. It's on the coastline once you get to the various fields, and then it's on the coast. It's free. It's so nice. And I'd suggest going there. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.